All right, Coach, you've got Northwestern State this weekend. How do you feel about going there and taking on the Demons?
Well, we're excited. We haven't played them since we've been here. And I know it's a long time rivalry that kind of fell through. I guess when we had a conference change and all that a couple years back. So I'm glad to kind of get this game going. The bye week was great and all, but we were kind of chomping at the bit to play. Everybody was playing last weekend, and obviously we didn't have a game. So, but no, I expect this will be a really good football game. I mean, they play extremely hard. I know their record doesn't show that, but you turn on the film, and they played Southeastern hard for most of the game. I know it's senior night there, and it's their last home game, so I expect them to play extremely well.
Questions?
A little bit extra because you didn't get to play them last year, and anything.
It's the next game on our schedule. That's what we're excited about. Our guys, we had a really good practice this morning. We cut back last week a little bit. I gave them the weekend off, and we had some bumps and bruises. We got healed up, so we're excited to be practicing this week. We're excited to play Saturday. It's an away game, our last away game, so we're excited for the opportunity.
You glad it's the last away game?
Absolutely, we're glad it's the last away game.
Obviously, there's been tough times here, but they've been even further down the road. They're going through stuff that nobody's ever gone through.
Yeah.
Are you? I know you're never gonna be sympathize with somebody, but do you kind of feel for it a little bit, or?
Well, I mean, hey, they got a new staff and brought there to kind of rebuild the program as well. So we obviously know what they're going through, and very, very sad situation a year ago that prevented this game from happening, and I can't imagine going through something like that. As being the head coach and having a player like that, but that team right there, they're going to do just fine. They got a rich tradition. They're going to bounce back. I think their coach staff's coached them hard, and hey, we've been in the rebuild process. We know exactly what their challenges are.
How important, and I'm sure it is, but is finishing these last two games and getting that first season with a winning record? I know that's extremely important for you.
Yeah, it's been quite some time around here, right? It's been since 19, right? And in 19 they finished with a 7-5 record. I think in 17, when we were 9-2 here in 17, that was the last time we've been in the playoffs. So, long overdue, but there's a lot of work to be done. It's just not going to be handed to us, and that's been my message to the team that we still got 2 games on our schedule, but we got to worry about 1 game at a time, and we're going to get both these teams' best effort. That's for sure.
With that, have you thought about the fact that not only 7-5, but getting a winning record in the conference too?
I mean, again, I know you think it's just coaching talk here, but I really want our guys focused on this game. This is a very important game. It's got a long tradition to it. They are going to play extremely hard. We've been in that situation right there. They don't have anything to lose, so they're going to give us their best shot and come out firing. I'm thinking about this game this weekend, and when the dust settles, when our season's over, yeah, absolutely, Jim. Hey, winning every game on the schedule is our goal, but having a winning record is very, very important to us. But it's really not what I'm focused on right now. I know it sounds weird to some, but I'm focused on us one day at a time and going out there Saturday and playing our best ball game.
Barbie obviously had a good game before the bye, but Bryce Strong was a guy that had some big plays in the game against Commerce. Is that a guy that you feel like carved out more of a role at the end of the season?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it always happens, right? That running back room, they take a beating, and it's been such a long season. And I give Bryce a lot of credit. He kind of hung there in the shadows a little bit, let everybody else kind of have their time to shine. And when he was presented the opportunity, he had a great work ethic and a great attitude, and he took it and ran, and he's played really good down the stretch. And I think, 2 weeks ago, him and Joshawn fed off each other, and he had that long explosive run, and you could see in Joshawn's eyes, hey, watch this. And that's a really good competition right there for those two. And, we're going to need those these last 2 weeks, that's for sure.
The running game overall, though, it has progressed. You had a good game against Nichols. It's very good. We've seen that kind of progress. They have a lot of trouble stopping the run. Is that something you hope to exploit, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to keep the defense off the field. Help Six a little bit, not put so much pressure on him. And I think anytime you can establish the run game, that helps you in both those areas.
How have you felt about, obviously he's had a week off, but his progression over the last few weeks? And now that he knows he's kind of the guy the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's kind of different, right? When you're the relief pitcher coming in, you know, you don't kind of have that extra pressure, and I think there was definitely a little bit of a different feeling for him. But you know, Six is approached every week the same, you know, and he's a smart guy. He's got a great attitude and works hard, and he's probably harder on himself than even we are at times, you know, and he knows he's got to continue growing. And like I mentioned last week, I got to keep reminding myself he's just a redshirt freshman. You know, he's not a junior out there, you know, so he's still learning too. But he did a really good job. You know, his first start there at Nichols protecting the ball, you know, and then at Commerce, he tried to force some things. He was trying to make a little too much happen, and it kind of cost him. But I'm excited. He had a good week last week, and he had a lot of energy and was excited this morning. So I think he's chomping at the bit to get out there and play again as well.
Have you talked to the team about the 2 upsets last weekend so that they don't get kind of caught in that trap?
We will this afternoon. Yeah, we have a team meeting this afternoon, and we will. And this morning after practice, I mentioned to him, I didn't point out those games, but I mentioned to him, hey, we must mature as a team. We must learn, a very difficult lesson from earlier in the season. And, just because of somebody's record or what's on paper does not guarantee you any wins. And we got to go out there and earn it. And, I like their mindset right now, and I'm going to continue making sure they're listening to me on that. And it's got to be a growing point for our program, And we didn't know how to handle success at that point of the season, and it caught up with us. And I'm hoping after Saturday's game we'll realize that we learned a very valuable lesson there.
With the late bye week this year, you had 2, but this is a later one. Was this more of a recovery one than a kind of a
well, they both were important, because going into that first one, we had 27 guys on the injury report, and it wasn't that bad at this point, this bye week, but it's still, a much needed break for such a long season. Again, what we start practice on, what was it, July 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. So it's been a long season. It's been a strange season, being away for so long and then having 2 bye weeks. I've had a bye week in the middle of the season before and then a first round bye. That's a little bit different than the scenario we're in right now. But I'll say that last week was probably a very much needed week to recover.